The third one, which was Mid-South, did not respond. Griffith Brothers did, and Dale Construction did. Griffith Brothers was at $82,000. Dale Construction was at $75,650, and I have moved forward with the $75,650 bid. The vault has been ordered. Quote, yes. I said bid, quote. The vault has been ordered and should be here in about 2 weeks. Construction will start on that project. Again, because it wasn't that long ago, we just had a meeting, so I would like to inform the board that, first I want to say this. I don't want House Bill 581 to overshadow what I'm fixing to tell this room and this board. But unfortunately, it's on the same day, and I know it'll be recognized as an effort to justify any vote by 581. I told the last public hearing group back on February 11th that there was talks of the school system looking to do a senior exemption for 70 and older. Please know that the Board of Commissioners is the one that has the power to make that happen. We do recognize our partners at the Board of Education. That vote will be done by the Board of Commissioners. They will agree, but it's a little tough to describe how the voting process on that works. But the Board of Commissioners is the one that inevitably has to say so. If I'm not mistaken, Mike Pruitt, am I correct?
Well, I'm not sure what if you're talking about an additional local homestead exemption, those go through the General Assembly.
Right.
So
this one would too.
Yeah, so the Board of Education could, they could ask the local delegation to introduce a bill creating a local homestead exemption from school taxes. That would not come through the Board of Commissioners.
All right, so Lamar Dalton, a couple of years back, had to go through the school board, then through the Board of Commissioners to get that reduction in school taxes.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Okay. Either way, it doesn't matter about the vote.
And that might have been something.
Let me just strike that whole vote conversation. So anyway, I told you on February 11th meeting that there was talks from the Board of Commissioners or the Board of Education of doing a potential 70 and older school exemption. This board has also made mention of that. I said 4 years ago, 4 years and 2 months ago when I ran, one of the things I ran on was exempting seniors from school tax. And today, I had lunch with the school superintendent, Dr. Jody Goodrow, and he has confirmed that the school board is willing to look at a 70 and older exemption for seniors. And again, this should be a monumental announcement, but it's not because we're overshadowed by the rest of it. I don't think for the seniors here have waited so many years to hear these words and thought they'd never hear it from the Madison County Board of Commissioners and or from the Madison County Board of Education. That it is now, the process has begun. We have delivered some numbers to them of what that exemption would look like from a big picture. We're still in the detail works of the eligibility process of this, but I can officially say that they're probably going to move forward with this pretty soon. For more documents coming, meaning what kind of qualifications it's going to be. Got to keep in mind that they're in session at the Capitol now. This will not probably hit the Capitol until this time next year. Actually, back it up, probably January of next year. Just wanted to go before the legislators for a vote. So it's not going to affect 2025, but it will affect 2026 if all goes well. But it is the intent of the BOC and the BOE to support this kind a reduction for our seniors. So while I ask you all to stay, at least for this part of it, I wanted everybody to hear it. I know it will never get the attention that it needs because this is such a long overdue process. I know each one of these guys right here at this table, it's been a goal of theirs also. And I think it's been a goal for the school board too. And while we were running numbers, we just decided to look at it, and I think the BOP determined that, you know what, it's a good move for everybody. And I concur. And I want to say I thank you to each member of the Board of Education for even the consideration of this, because it was so hard. Robin, you probably remember, it was so hard to get what little bit of reduction they got back about 8 years ago. It was a struggle. And now to hear somebody talk about a, potential full exemption for 70 and older is huge news. So that will wrap up my chairman's report, gentlemen. Statements and remarks for citizens on tonight's agenda. Now, if you'd like to proceed with your question, you can now. If we didn't get it a minute ago.
No, that's okay.
All right. Well, welcome up from Florida.
Thanks.
It's not always cold here. Anyone else? Statements, remarks from citizens on tonight's agenda. Yes, sir.
David Carrier, Georgia. As a 78-year-old resident of Madison County, I appreciate all the efforts y'all are going to eliminate or reduce our school tax, because our school tax is twice what our county tax is.
Thank you. I mean, it's really all I can say is thank you, but to have the Board of Education even enter into these talks, this is so unheard of in Georgia. I mean, certain counties has got it, don't get me wrong, but for Madison County, even when I was a kid, my dad was fussing, and, grandpas and all these other people, older citizens has always said, somewhere you got to draw the line. Well, finally, I think we're going to be able to draw that line. And I'm so thankful to the Board of Education for even adventuring down this avenue with me and inviting me to be part of this process. It means a lot to me personally. So kudos to those guys, and thank you, sir. Any other statements, remarks on tonight's agenda? All right, moving forward. Old business, consider a resolution by Madison County to opt out of the homestead exemption. Pursuant to OCGA 48-5-44.2. With that being said, gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that Madison County Board of Commissioners opt out of the homestead exemption.
I have a motion by Commissioner Doster, a second by Commissioner May.
Would it be more appropriate to label that as provisions of House Bill 508 as opposed to just opting out of the homestead exemption? Whatever the appropriate one is.
Actually approving the resolution is what you technically would need.
Approve the resolution that is presented here that would opt us out of the provisions of House Bill 508.
Yes, sir. 581.
581.
I'm going to take that as your motion, sir.
I'll accept that provision.
And I'm going to, for the second, I'll take that motion. All right. With that being said, gentlemen, any discussion?
Go ahead. I mean, I'd like to share. I appreciate everybody's comments and coming out and meeting, and I appreciate some of the dialogue I've had with different people. I truly think several issues with that bill was convoluted in the language that was there, and we can sit. I think sometimes different governments play the game of if taxes go up, go blame the assessors. Well, if the assessors say it's just the value, go blame the military. Well, we didn't change the military. So I understand that game, and I don't agree to any of it. Taxes is it's a quick math equation. The assessed value times whatever that military is. So the part that I have trouble with is just that the homestead parcel, and I pay taxes just like everybody else. But I think in our community, and I can't speak for everybody, but if pitting the homestead parcels against the non-homestead parcels. But if you look at our non-homestead parcels, you're talking about, you know, some farms and some businesses. And I equate both of those. Those are the same people you're going to church with, the same people you're going to eat dinner with. It's not a just mass of unknown folks there. So I think there's some compilation there that needs to be considered. You know, we're a rural community. You know, our comp plan, you know, that we had just recently passed supports, you know, the preservation of that farmland. So I think it's unburdened, or it may be, in my opinion, it may place too big a burden on, you know, those with larger acres that are making their, you know, but the services that they need is the same. You know, you got one house compared to, you know, somebody that has a house and doesn't have any farmland or another large parcel. I think the legislature knew it was going to be up to us to make that decision because they allowed it in the referendum. So I take that as a particular provision that was in that referendum. So we need to, not need to, but it allows us to move forward with that. And I think it does. Several people, I think it was the last meeting that we had, you know, somebody asked if we promised to kind of do a local exemption, and I didn't make any promises, but all I can do is look to the past and the millage rate that we've done in the past 4 years, trying to keep things as equal as possible on our side of the ledger. And then also about 3.5 years ago that we implemented the 70 and over for county taxes. So that local exemption is already there. So I think, you know, there's a little bit of proof in that pudding, so to speak. So several examples of why, or several thoughts why I think it's best for us to opt out. And then with that provision, though, that we charter our own path, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I think this is the best way forward.
Thank you, Commissioner Doster, for that great analogy and summary, because you nailed it, sir. Thank you.
Just a couple of comments. One, I want to thank and commend everybody who's attended any of the three or all of the three public hearings on this. It's very, very encouraging to me, the amount of research you put into it. I personally am one of the citizens of this state that voted for that. I'm ashamed to tell you that I voted for it without good knowledge. There's much about this. If I had had the knowledge that y'all brought to these public hearings when I cast my ballot, I would have voted differently. I think I have learned a lot about this, and there are a lot of concerns. Commissioner Doster hit on several of these. The burden that y'all need to place on us is to make sure that we are doing a good job managing the government of this county so we can keep it as cost effective as it can be. Because whatever our budget says, it's like Chairman Higgins said, those dollars are going to come from somewhere. And this is just a hocus pocus. It takes the burden from one set to a different set. But the challenge for us, and I challenge y'all to hold us accountable to that budget, to see to it that we are providing the necessary services, evaluating what services are necessary, and then making sure that we operate as efficiently as possible. So thank you all for your input as we go through this process.
And also, I would like to thank you for your analogy, because that's a different perspective, and I do appreciate it, sir. And just for the record, I would have been one that benefited from this. I have 2.5 acres. I've been in my house 20 years. I plan on not going anywhere. Just so you know.
I don't want to say much because I think it's already been said, but I think that this board has done a pretty good job of managing the situations that we've seen in the past. You know, the values of the properties have gone up, and we've tried to deal with it by managing the millage rate and doing the things that we could and still provide all the services. And to my way of thinking, I would a lot rather see that managed, whether I'm one of the commissioners or somebody else that replaces me, it being managed more at the Madison County local level, where input from y'all could be, you know, given and taken and done. So I appreciate the input, but I think that the correct thing is to opt out of this and then let the local manage it, and then we're accountable to you, and you just need to keep us accountable.
Thank you, Commissioner Kurt. Any other discussion, Joe?
I guess, from my side of the table, I would have to say, yes, I voted for the bill. And at this time, I would vote to stay in. And one of my deepest concerns is an active member of this board for 4 years, that at the 11th hour, we may extend or expand the homestead exemption. But there's nothing in writing on the table that we're going to do that. We may. And I hope that the passion that y'all have shown in getting us to this point, you will show every meeting to come in here and ask, when? When will you do this? Because we have no incentive, and here again, the devil's advocate, we have no incentive to ever do it without the citizens hounding us on it. And it's that simple. This sets a cap that everyone can recognize. Whether you agree with it or not, doesn't matter. But things have been said and put on the table here this evening, and I would challenge you to return and make sure we follow up on the things you heard here tonight. Because at the end of the day, hey, this works great for me. I'm over 70 and I own property. But at the end of the day, it's input from the citizens that are going to make that happen. And we desperately need that.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. Commissioner May, you're the last one. I mean, we ain't even went around and say, well, go right ahead.
No, I would just echo what these other guys have said. Thank you all for your input. And from my perspective, I just would rather have local control over how we collect taxes and how our taxes are spent. And I really appreciate the conversations that have gone on in here and on Facebook and everywhere else, because I think that those conversations that we've had here and elsewhere have really got that ball rolling with the BOC about the exemption for the elderly people, for people over 70. And if we were to opt into this, I don't think we would be able to do that on a local level. So I really appreciate everybody's comments on that.
Before I move on, social media, good, bad, or indifferent, whether you was one of them that was just chomping at the bits to rip government or one that was defending government, at least you were paying attention to government, because that's what we ask of you to do. And unfortunately, some of those comments went a little sideways. I wish the room was more full of people from that side of it, but they're not here today. But as chairman of this Board of Commissioners, I couldn't be more proud of this board, because I just heard how the vote's going to go. And that's okay. It's okay if somebody wants to go in or out or choose differently. We don't have to be in uniformity as long as we're in talks. We have conversations, and it's all about doing the right thing. That's what we have to have. So, Commissioner Chandler.
Yes.
Point of order, does the resolution need to be read out loud?
No, sir, it does not.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
No. Thank you, gentlemen. All of you, gentlemen.
Mr. Chairman, can I just say one word on the side of those of us?
Absolutely.
Before you all, your county clerk and your office as a whole has done an outstanding job of handling all of the complicated details of how to implement this so that this board didn't have to worry about that part and could think about what they needed to think about. And I just wanted to recognize Christina in your office.
Thank you.
Well, I recognize Christina daily, and I'm glad you do too, sir. But there's been several other parties in this. I do think probably the best thing, and I told him this several times and after each meeting, Gary Capelier in Robin's office, and with Robin's help and several staff members' help, put together a presentation that could have been looked at as motivation to go one way, motivation to go the other, but that was not the intent. The intent was to just share facts. And Gary, I'm going to tell you for the last time, I appreciate you and thank you for putting together such a well-informed presentation about our county and our numbers, because those dollar figures that we keep throwing around, it comes from those guys. And the tax commissioner that's not here today. He knew what struggles he was up against also. We've heard his opinion. If you don't know anything else about Madison County, know that you're lucky to live here. Because I truly believe, from our EMS to our firemen to this board of commissioners and even to the school board, you probably got the best in the state. It ain't always perfect, but we've got a great organization of people in this county. That includes our citizens. Because if not, you would have already come forward and told us so. I left the election. I promise you that. I would have already told us. All right. New business. Consider First Amendment between Madison County Industrial Development and GRP Madison LLC. And this is the agreement.
Yeah, this is, the BOC took over the IDBA here, amending the IDBA contract, the same as the other ones that we deal with the city of Elberton, Royston, Franklin. It's the same thing. It increases the water rate.
457.
Mm-hmm.
437.
Yes, 437.
And that actually isn't an increase, that inflation escalator is built in, that's just where it is right now, that's just sort of an informative, that's where we are.
So it really doesn't change anything, it's just pushing under the BOC.
Exactly, that's right.
All right, gentlemen, any questions about that one?
So this is work session, do we want to go ahead and deal with this?
Yes, it's regular business.
Okay, I move we go ahead and approve this updated agreement as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Chandler, second by Commissioner Kurt. Any other discussion, gentlemen? Commissioner May?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Consider the reappointment of Reginald Hunter to the Advantage Healthcare Community Service Board. Any discussion on that one, gentlemen?
Assume he's willing to,
Yes, they come at the recommendation of the current board and that executive assistant at Advantage.
move to reappoint Reginald Hunt.
Second motion.
Motion by Commissioner Doster, second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Commissioner Kurt?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Consider the reappointment of Alan Latzinski and Mary Beth Dial as county representatives to serve on the Northeast Georgia Regional Solid Waste Management Authority Board of Directors. It's no term limit, but for some reason, we have to do it.
It's a 4-year term.
They both agreed to do so.
They both come to sit on board.
Move to reappoint Allen and Mary Beth as notes.
I have a motion by Commissioner Doster. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner May. Any discussion, gentlemen? Commissioner Doster?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Road updates, gentlemen?
I have a few. Lacey just left the room, had some concerns about Serenity Lane, and it was, thanks to Alan and his memory, went back and met with those folks there in 2021. They're still desiring that. That is a private drive, and they want, some of the citizens there want the county to adopt that, so I'm gonna have some of the citizens of that road get in touch with Lacey Baker. They've got some documents that they think that might prove a different outcome than what we have, where the county views that we are at this point. So anyway, I'm going to put her in Lacey working on that. Also, I mentioned that pothole at the end of Earl Kirk Road 29, and we fixed it, and some of them were out Church Road. And I did talk to Alan and Derek both about Chandler Road and the property over there with the roots.
Good, I told him to reach out, if there were the name or number.
Yeah, I've given it to them.
And you said, what was the other road besides Irvin Kirk? It was what, Macedonia?
Mariah Church.
Oh, Mariah.
And they're not major, but they'd be easy
That's
to
fine.
fix right now.
Dennis?
Well, good. I would like to thank Alan and Derek for the millings that they put on in the Sanford area and over there that to fill in on the sides of the roads. Well, that has helped a great deal.
Really? What? I ain't gonna go no further, Mr. Dawson.
HB Chandler, we have we'll just call it a serial mud rider. And as soon as we get the road cleaned up and get everybody happy, and we get somebody that wants to play, so I'll ask the road department to take another look at it, and then also ask the sheriff's office if we need to put up some cameras or do something, and try to dissuade somebody from.
Code enforcement will do that, have to do that.
Okay.
I think, for the record, there's cameras already up on HB Chandler, don't mess up. Fair warning. All right, Board of Commissioners office will be opening LMEG seal bids this Friday, February 28th at 11 a.m. For the 2025 LMEG project. Invitation bid has been posted on the procurement registry website.
I'm sorry.
The county website and advertised have been ran in the Madison County Journal. If any of you are interested in submitting a seal bid, you may contact the county clerk's office to receive a package. Ms. Christina Baxter. The Board of Commissioners office will be opening T-Splash seal bids Friday, March 21st at 11 a.m. for the 2025 T-Splash projects. Please contact again the county clerk, Ms. Christina Baxter, if you're interested in bidding. Fiscal year 2026 off-system safety project update. Georgia Department of Transportation will be overseeing the bidding, contracting, and funding of these projects. Currently, GDOT is revising the construction documents. County roads include in the projects are Sanford Road, Rogers Mill Road, Crawford W. Long, Madison Street. This project ranges from shoulder widening, striping, signage, and project let date is August of 2026. This is a brand new thing that they've never done before that we heard about, and now we're also being told that
Possible LRA funds.
LRA funds may be coming back, which is a same dollar match as our T-Splosh with no matching grant. So that'll be huge. Again, it'll let us double the coverage.
We're supposed to get an update from our road consultant.
Correct. So we had a meeting with him.
Feedback.
Yeah, we had a meeting with him the other day. They're putting together a whole new update format that he's going to be presenting us with, because right now we've had him so busy for 3 months trying to figure out the roads that we're going to do. But they did come in and we looked over some slideshows. There's some new software out there that we may potentially take a look at. Lacey is in the middle of a project through GIS mapping.
Yep.
And you want to go ahead and give the better description.
Yeah, the software system is Ezra. So GIS, you could go in there, like we have all of our parcels. So what we want to do with that software system is bring in CPL information. So you click on the parcel, you have all their zoning. You can click on that road, it'll tell you the water lines and what water lines is on that road. You can click on the same road, it tells you what the road condition is, potholes, paving, when the last time the work's done, driveway deeds. So it's the Ezra GIS software. We have that. I have that Ezra GIS software for the road survey that we had done. So we talked with Chris Steele about trying to integrate those two. We met with Owen and Lacey, because they were the two that are working on that. So that's where we're at. He is going to update the survey on the road conditions. But if we're going to do one, and then for a little bit more cost, could we do two things at one time since we're already there? So that's where we're at in that conversation.
The concern that I had, what I wanted him to be here so we could address if anybody else had some. There were some of the treatments that he recommended that we did, that there, at least in some circumstances in my district, I was not satisfied with the results of them. And I want him to hear that, you know, I was dissatisfied with this, and this is why. So when we're looking at going forward with these, do we need to do this different? Do we need to not do it all? And specifically, the one that troubled me the most is where we did the triple surface overlays. We did that, but we didn't do any repair prior to them. So whenever there was a pothole, we just triple surfaced, and the pothole's still there, but it's just got triple surface over it. And wherever there was crumbling on the edge of the pavement, the crumbling is still there. It just got triple surfaced over it, just bigger in a way. So I want him to hear that before we even think about triple surfacing, that there needs to be at least some degree of repair done before that happens. That's just an example of what I want him to hear, so he can hear us.
I'll bring him in.
Okay.
I'll have him in the next meeting. It'd actually be really good to have him in the very first meeting.
But before we make decisions on what we're going to do or what roads that are in what condition, I want him to hear what our thoughts are on what we have done based on his recommendations up to this point.
I do have one thing. I had nothing but positive comments related to the LED stoplights that were placed at Sanford Road and Crabapple Hollow Road. I did have one request that should the county move in the direction where we would place not a red light, but a caution light where it would be red on Crabapple Hollow and caution on Sanford Road, that if we ever moved in that direction, that crossroads be considered for that. But nothing but positive comments related to the signage.
Yeah, speed bumps about the only thing gonna fix Sanford Road. They're running about 70 any given day. But we ain't going there because we don't do speed bumps.
Yeah.
All right, but I'll get Chris Deals here in the very next meeting, to give some updates on that. 'Cause I'm a little taken back about the pothole that got done over because there was a crew in front of the guys doing that, supposed to be fixing the potholes.
Apparently they got past them.
But the only thing is if you see this stuff going down, it's like an 8-foot liquid sheet. And when they went across it, the guy standing on the back would have saw the hole still there.
They apparently saw it and just kept on going.
That bothers me then.
And the triple surface looked good, but like I say, where they didn't address the problem, it's just a triple surface over the problem. It's still there.
Yeah. So you know, like Booger Hill Road, for instance, we went in and done those. Right. We milled out patch places, alligatored up, took it out, made 3 or 4 foot patches even for a pothole. You really need to get a big, and they did that. So, but I'll find out. I'll have them here next meeting. No more road updates. Citizens statements and remarks from citizens in closing.
I got one.
Yes.
I just want to say, I do appreciate everything you all do. Even though you think I may give you a hard time, I do appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
Look, I'm 28 years old. Look how I look. Because of this job. So, all right, sir, go ahead.
Just another comment on that. I think you called it that triple whatever.
Triple surface, yeah.
Well, we had that done up in Bryce Landing too. It doesn't look that good. It really doesn't. It looks like, I don't know, it's just got a rough appearance to it. It's especially lousy at the cul-de-sacs. You can see where pretty soon after it was put down, some truck came in there and did a cul-de-sac turn and just tore it up. It does not look nice. I mean, if it was to preserve, okay, it probably has a function.
That's what it is.
But it does not have a good look. The road looks worse after you did it than it did before, at least on good asphalt.
Well, yeah, good asphalt, even about 2 years later, starts getting tiny spider cracks, and the water going in is what deteriorates the road quickly. So this stuff is more of a pavement preservation, so there's so much liquid in it that it goes to fill in all those cracks. Now, inevitably, if we didn't have so much road deterioration, we could go back and actually do a really nice topping on top of it. But right now, we're trying to save what we got and manage what we got until we can circle back. Any trash truck with that steer tire, the way those steer tires are designed, when they make a turn, they're going to chew up anything there, especially fresh asphalt.
keeping them off for 24 hours or something would probably go a long way. Second thing I wanted to mention is Garnet, Ward, and 29 pothole. It's just the edge of the road.
Yeah.
You have the edge of it where you're making a right turn, and you've got a culvert, and it's just not enough there.
Yeah.
That
DOT
needs to be addressed.
yeah, we've already called that into DOT. Wasn't it you?
I had a question, but I'll let you finish
So
that.
anyway, DOT's been notified about it. We can't touch it. They've already come out. I think they put some cones out. It's not gonna do any good unless they fix it because the shoulder is literally deteriorating.
We are looking at, about before you get to the end of the road, there's a section there that the road's deteriorating. We have made phone calls and we're going to address that.
And also where that storage, where the fenced in lot is there, they're having to put a pipe under it because it wasn't, when they permitted originally for just a gravel lot, there was no specs in putting the pipe on it. But now that they're building many storage buildings there, they're putting pipe in, but that's still having anything to do with it, it's deteriorating. And Old Elberton Road, same way. If you've ever been down Old Elberton Road, around Hull, around the fire hall, same way with the shoulder, it's missing in the white line. There is no shoulder, believe it or not, because it goes from there to a ditch to a bank, to an embankment. We are making plans to help the city of Hull. They do have some money, so probably end up having a curb and gutter that road around those zigzag curves because there's nowhere to go. You can't extend the road any wider, so we're gonna pour concrete. But we'll take care of that one too. But anyway, yes, ma'am.
That was the one, I think I talked to you about it.
It was.
The whole road is scary and terrible, and I'm afraid someone will wreck. And then my other question was, Spratland Mill, I don't know what's happening, but it seems like people are now dumping tires on the side of the road on Spratland Mill, and the trash is getting ridiculous.
You're right.
I don't know what's happening. Like, why did we become like a trash destination?
I can't answer it.
But you mentioned something about cameras. Maybe cameras could figure out where this trash coming from.
The sad part about that is twice a year we do a tire amnesty. You can take all your tires for free, and people still buzz them on the side of the road. People's gonna be people, unfortunately. The only thing I hope for is an envelope with a name in it, because
If you were specifically.
that one's got problems.
You specifically call code enforcement, tell them that they're there, they'll come out, and they will look for identification,
Okay.
and they'll get them to come clean it up. And if there's a location that is problematic, they'll put cameras up and try to catch people.
Okay.
Down there, so code enforcement.
Yes, ma'am.
So, he said that there's someone here that, that I could talk to about, all the ditches all around Draper Road. Because they need dug out. Skull Shoal Creek, if that floods because of the Broad River and the tributaries, from that river, all the houses there, are at risk for flooding. And so if those don't get dug out and the culverts in there, if those don't get cleaned out, and I walk the road a lot, most every day. A lot of them are all backed up, with debris, twigs, dead animals. They just removed one of the dead
Is that
animals.
C.L. Draper?
Yeah.
Draper.
And so if those don't get cleaned out, I'm in the insurance industry, and flooding I deal with a lot. And I don't know if you guys have watched the news or TikTok or anything, but it's all over the country, between Kentucky, Tennessee. We're at high risk here in Georgia a lot. And so I don't want to flood. I don't want to flood.
I got it down to clean the ditches on C.L. Draper.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
the same situation with you and I, and Alan, and Derek met with Jacob Haldeman last year. He was talking about the road's great job.
But the rock out there looks really good, just so you know. It's
Oh,
so much
pipe
better.
extension.
I appreciate it. I do.
Thank him.
I
He called it in.
do.
But yeah, you're always welcome to, and seriously, and for the newspaper here, if you can get this in there, it'd be great. We can go online we have an online portal on our website. Anything road, maintenance, trees, whatever, you can literally fill that out and it automatically sends straight to the road department.
Nice.
So, please take advantage of it. All right. Statements, remarks, commissioners. Urgent matters. Executive session, discuss real estate acquisition, personal matters, potential litigations.
No, sir.
Commissioner Derek Dolan.
Move adjourned.
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Hey, I got a